In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect or how to set your credentials for GitHub so that you can work with your files from a GitHub repository and push those changes back up to GitHub. In the last video, we got a RStudio server going using a Docker image. And here's the Docker app. I'm on a Mac. That's what it looks like. And you can see I've got this container here. It's stopped at the moment. It's running on port 8787. Let's go ahead and get that started. So let's start it. It's running again. So now that it's running, I can go here, localhost, colon 8787. All right. So now I'm in the login page for that server. So as I showed in the last video, I set it to test, sign in. All right, so now I'm in, and I don't have any files here, but let's go ahead and set up a project from a Git repository. We're just going to use this one. It's something that's open size, so I can go ahead and create that. Clones it. Great. So I didn't have to do anything for this container to have Git. The Docker image already has that. So there I am. Okay, so I've got my files, and now I'd like to be able to make some changes here and push these back up to GitHub, because this container it's not something I can access from my, like when I'm normally on my laptop. It's a container. It's like a closed environment, and I can't like get into it. So I need to be in this container and then work with my GitHub repository and push my changes up there. Okay, so great. So I've got the files. Now, whenever you are working within a container, any of these applications, you need to tell Git who you are, and generally speaking, you want to store your credentials. You don't have to. You can just enter your username and your password. It's actually not a password. It's a personal access token every time you make a change. But most people don't do that because obviously that's a hassle. So let's see the commands that you run to get this set up. Okay, so here are the commands that you will run from the terminal. I will note many R users will use these 3 commands instead, or specifically it's really these 2 commands. These are the ones that are set the config. That is basically doing these 2 commands. And then this one tells it to set the credential manager, which is basically this command down here. I don't do that just because I'm not always working in R, so there's a lot of times I just need to work from the terminal. So I will use these 3 commands. I'll also note, so I am on a Mac, but this container, if we look at what operating system I'm in, I'm not in a Mac in this container. I'm actually in Linux. So the commands I have here is not my, Oxy keychain thing. I'm just going to use the default here, which is store. By the way, that is storing my personal access token in plain text. I would, in a production system, I'd be doing something different, but this is what I'm going to show here. This, because you will have this. This is like a default thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and run these commands. And let's do this one. Go back here. So we're doing this from the terminal. This is not from the R console. This is from the terminal. There we go. And then name here. And then the next one, I need this. So Okay, and then, like I said, this one here, this part here, this store, this is specific to Linux, but as I said, these containers are going to be using Linux, so use that. All right, so that's it. So now I am set up. I can make a change. I can commit that change and push that up to GitHub. When I first do that, it is going to ask me for my username. I'll enter that, and then it'll ask me for my password. This is not your GitHub password. This is a personal access token. If you don't know how to do a personal access token, either Google that or look at my videos. That'll show you how to do that. Okay.